Welcome back to the Adventure, the podcast where we break down the good, the bad, and the brilliant in advertising. Today, I'm your host Sarah, and we have Kelly. And today we are going to dive into the advertisement of Malaysia Airlines, where they are advertising their new business class. Okay, before we start, Kelly, can you tell us, have you watched the advertisement?
Of course I have. I'm here to criticize it because I've watched it.
Right. So before we dive more into it, can you tell us what is your opinion, like overall?
The overall?
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the first thing you look at when you see a video in general? It doesn't have to be an ad. Is the colors and the visual. So let's start with the visuals, right? When you watch a business class ad, mainly this targets the A330neo, think about the mood it sets. It's never clinical. It's never like a dentist office. It's never bright white. It's always soft, warm, and amber, which I think we've seen before, time and time again. Because this is very, very overused. Like, it's a deliberate psychological trick. They use the soft, ambient, warm colors to make it feel like we are in a very comfortable and safe space, right?
Yeah.
So it's because they want to take away the stress that comes with air traveling. You know, at an airport, right?
Yeah,
The few-
it's very cramped. Like
Yeah.
if you go to economy class, it's very cramped, right?
It's very chaotic, and they want to use this to tell you that it's okay when you travel with us, you wouldn't feel the chaos. So they frame this cabin as a home, as their famous tagline goes, a home in the air or a home in the sky. So this can also be tied to the way it's shot, or in other words, their camera work. So the camera work supports this feeling of being comfy, of being in a little home, and because the shots are incredibly slow. So when you relate something being slow and soft and comfortable, that should be your home, right?
Yeah.
So we see the smooth, gentle shifts in the frame, focusing on really, really specific things like a glass of water and a beautiful stitched together leather seat. They focus a lot on the intricate details.
Oh yeah.
And why do you think that's so?
I think it's because they're trying to promote. Like when we go to, like I said, when we go to airport, it's very cramped.
Yeah.
The seat is very squeaky. It's not really good for your.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're trying to say, oh, this business class, it's better.
Yes, it is better because they show all of this to us to actually show us the premium quality this business class plane provides. Because they show like the amenity kit is very neatly placed.
Yeah.
The water is really like it looks really clear and clean.
They even have a charging point,
Yes.
right?
So it shows the premium quality of this business class plane. And you also see a lot of close-ups that focus on these textures, these materials to highlight how premium it is, like leather. Leather is in any other part of the world, in any
Like shoes,
it's
bags,
always
right?
classy.
Yeah.
It's always premium, right? So this reinforces that. Okay, and then next I would like to touch on the music. So the music, what do we hear in the back? It's always gentle, soft pianos, really gentle strings. It's not. If you notice, it's not classical music. Why? Because classical music would create a very tense, formal environment. The way they want to make you feel is that they want to make you feel that you feel important because you're in business class, so you are important. But they don't want to make you feel stressed. So that's why they're communicating the comfort through their music.
So in overall, they're trying to tell that this new business class is a comfortable way for you to, to travel
Yes.
in air very comfortably, and they're trying to sell their product.
Exactly. So exactly that. So it is a powerful tool. The music that's really a powerful tool, but it's also their greatest weakness.
Oh, okay. Now that you're saying weakness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, since we already established the overall overview, and she even tell something, something that they did good. Trying to make this theme of comfortableness for the passenger. They did good on that. But now we are going to, since this podcast is all about the good we already go, and then now the bad.
Okay.
What do you think?
The bad.
Kelly, what do you think?
So the core problem in these ads is that the cliche trap, which is the cliche trap. We've seen this pattern, this blueprint time and time again in every airline. When every airline uses the same warm light, uses the same slow camera movement, and the same voiceover like, oh, what makes a home a home? They lose the originality, they lose their brand distinction, and we call this the hotel room effect. That's why they want to create a sense of comfort because they're just, in a way, they're bringing to you another place of a hotel room, right? But then again, this is why this is bad, or why this is it makes the ad, I would say, pretty weak. It doesn't really it doesn't really send the message that they're supposed to send. Because the advertising makes the cabin look like indistinguishable from a high-end looking hotel room. Now you forget, or I think maybe Malaysia Airlines have forget that they're actually selling is not a hotel room. They should be selling a high business class plane in the sky.
Ah.
So think about it this way, Sarah. They're forgetting to highlight the uniqueness of the 330neo because what is this plane? It's a new plane. It's classy. It has this new technology in it. It's different from their old plane. So they focus so much on the calmness that they completely ignore the excitement and technology of this modern flight. You see a beautiful tray table. You see the seat, the leather seat. But do you see the cool technology that they have put into the plane? No, you don't see that. I don't see that. So what makes this plane, what makes your plane, your A330neo,
So
different from the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah, what makes it different? So they don't talk about that. But the result in it, yes, it looks beautiful, it looks expensive, but it's also forgettable because it blends into competition like every other airline.
Every other airline is like
Yeah.
the same thing over
Yeah.
and over again. So like, what makes them stand out, right?
Yeah.
It's like that.
So how can they break this cycle, right? How can they stand out? So to create like a truly impactful advertisement, it's that you need contrast, you need sonic identity, and you need to play around with your camera work. And this is what I can touch on when it comes to improving an ad.
Ah, okay. So now, since again you have mentioned it, since we are not here to just criticize and
Yes.
criticize, we also want to talk about like what can we improve in this kind of ad, right?
Yeah.
Because we're also here to learn, not only to talk bad about
Yes.
this advertisement. So, in your opinion, since from your points, I feel like you have a lot more to talk.
Yeah.
So, what can you improve in this advertisement?
So the first thing is I said contrast.
Mhm.
If you want to emphasize how peaceful, how comfy your cabin is, you
Yes.
also need to show us how does it feel outside the cabin, the chaos that the cabin protects you from. I need to see that. Just give me a 2 second time lapse, maybe outside of like in an airport, and then the flash of NBT and then cut, and then you show me the silence. That would be nice instead of just giving me like really slow camera shots.
It's showing like okay when you're at airport it's very
Yeah.
busy and all and then it's like calming and
Yeah.
it gives this I feel like even as a viewer you will feel
That instant change.
yes the instant change.
That is why we need the contrast. You need to show us like the difference I would feel if I'm here. What makes it different? What makes it so comforting? It's because it protects us. It does not show us that. It just shows us like how comfy it is. Because how can we measure how comfortable is something when you do not show us the chaos that it protects us from, right? So yeah. Next is instead of just showing us close-ups of your water bottle, of your chair, of your amenity kit, we need a wider camera shot, like a wider angle. Because you show, if you notice a lot of close-ups, if you do notice it's close-ups focusing on the premium quality of things, I like that. I don't see that as bad, but I also want to see the overall view, the spatial view of it, because like you need to highlight the space that they have between seats. So like for example, when you have a wider view, you can see that okay, I have more privacy, maybe because my seat is further from the person next to me. But you don't show me that. You don't show me how much like privacy and how much distance I would have from the next passenger.
In the video also they only show like this one seat.
Yeah.
They don't show the like the perspective
Yeah.
of it's actually very far away.
Yes. And this is really important if you actually think about it because it's a business class plane. It's a business class plane. So you'll be mainly catering to people that have, coming back from meetings or going for business class meetings or going somewhere stressful. So they would like their privacy, their own space, right? So yes, and Extreme White Shot would do this advertisement a lot more justice. And the last but not least, I talked about the music, how it's like just your plain piano and guitar string.
Very monotone.
Yeah, we've heard it before.
Yes.
So many times. This is our problem these days is that we don't focus on getting our own sonic identity, our own sonic logo, or our very own music. So the music needs to stop being generic and just being a background filler. A major airline should actually invest in a distinctive musical sound or clip. Remember back in the day, Sarah, when they all this advertisements had their very unique like silly jingle, advertisement jingle. Why did we stop investing in that? Especially as a big company, I think it would be really wise to invest in the musical side of advertisement.
And I think it's also good because it gives like a stimulus. Every time a person
Yeah.
hear this certain sound, they're like, oh, this ad belongs to this.
Yeah.
So I think give them
Exactly.
identity, right?
Yeah. So exactly what I was going to say is when you hear the little tune, you instantly think of that airline, not just any airline. You would think, yes, Malaysia Airlines. Yes, I got it from A330neo, and that would be good because they're actually launching a new plane. They're actually launching a business class plane that's different from the old plane. So it would be nice to actually have a new like background music that helps us remember it by. So remember, like when back in the days we had those jingles. I think that would make a lot of difference if we bring that back. And honestly, we just need to step out of our mold, just be bold and create that. That is one thing I would say to like all airlines. Yeah, that is all I have in terms of improvement. Yeah,
That is a lot, but in the same time, it's very informational and it's very good to actually finally hear what other people can say. Because sometimes when we look at advertisements, sometimes we just look and then okay, we go on with our day. It's nice to finally, have some sort of other people to criticize because sometimes this company needs to do better because
Yes.
it's for them and also sometimes for the image of our own country.
Our
Because
own country, because it's
yeah,
Malaysia
it's
Airlines.
Malaysia
It
Airline.
represents our country.
Yeah.
We could do better. We're not saying that it's bad. We're saying that there could be improvements that would make it, they would sell the business class better.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think that's all from
Yeah.
us, right? Cool. So thank you to Kelly.
It was really nice being here and getting to talk about.
It's nice to host this with you too. That's it for today's episode. Catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching.